Everybody, Ty here. Hope you all are doing well. And what do you know? We're up for a second day in a row. So, we're going to get in a little bit further detail with the severe weather threat on Friday, but I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the marginal risk that we have for tonight and for tomorrow. Now, marginal risks usually aren't super noteworthy when it comes to severe weather events, but you always need to be careful of those because they can be pretty sneaky. Tonight's threat doesn't really seem like it's going to be one of those sneaky events. We could get a sneaky hailstorm, or maybe a wind gust out of this. That's all we're expecting for tonight. It's across Central Plains, mainly over towards central Oklahoma, heading into west central and maybe even central Texas before all is said and done tonight. It's really Friday, of course, that we know about being the slight risk that we're most interested in. But I will say that Thursday, tomorrow's threat, we may not want to sleep on that. It's kind of intriguing to me. It has the look of what's called a cold core setup, and I'll get into the details of that momentarily. But because of the way that things are set up with this, we do get a marginal tornado threat. Now, the thing about this is there's a lot of wrinkles with this, but there could be a chance they may extend this a little bit further towards the north. I don't expect this to be promoted at the current time up to a slight risk, but we know how things can change. Well, one thing that we will be doing in tonight's video is that we're going to be taking a look at one of the convective models. It's the only convective available at this range. So, and it's not my favorite to look at, and I'll get into the details with that a little bit later as well. But along with the tornado threat, we have that wind threat to go along with that, and the hail threat's a little bit further off towards the west. I think that might be a little bit of an extension of the threat that we have from tonight bleeding into early tomorrow morning. And then, of course, on day 3, here's our slight risk. This is a first look at the full layout of the severe weather risk for Friday, which includes, of course, our marginal risk, which stretches now into parts of western Kentucky here. And we also have areas towards maybe central Illinois and also Indiana. But this even stretches all the way up in the extreme northwest Georgia through a good chunk of Alabama now. So we've had a little bit of an extension off to the east with the slight risk itself. We can now even include Birmingham in this. And this stays just to the south of Nashville now too. So slight extension off to the east here. We're not surprised to see that push off to the south a little bit more. We kind of went over that in minor detail with yesterday's video, but it's not surprising to see maybe even more of a push. I would go as far as to say that maybe Biloxi could be under the gun with the slight risk here. At this range, it's still kind of hard to tell, especially with model data that's still coming in. Literally at the time of me making this video, some of the other convectives are just now starting to get into range. So by tomorrow, this video could be almost inaccurate maybe. But I said if things were to change with this, or if I saw something noteworthy, I would make a video. So, of course, here we are. So, look at the convective model here that we do have available, the NAM 3 kilometer. Not really my favorite because it tends to be a bit more aggressive than some of the other ones. I try to look for realistic scenarios, and the NAM does a decent job. Don't get me wrong, I'm not necessarily knocking it, but sometimes it does create those doomsday scenarios that don't always end up happening. But one thing that I have made note of, and this is us looking at tomorrow's setup here, this trough that we have set up here definitely kind of lends itself into being one that has a nice little gradient that will pop up here. It's going to have a pretty strong frontal boundary and a very strong lift source right here. You can see these contour lines that are popping up here. You see these short waves already popping up in the higher levels of the atmosphere. And it also, if you look to the right, it translates into the mid levels of the atmosphere. We're looking at 2 different levels of the atmosphere. We're looking at the upper level jet, which is on the left, and the mid level jet to the right. And why this is important is this is going to be one of our multiple sources of lift that we would need to get thunderstorms to develop. And it looks like these could develop earlier in the day. And the biggest thing with this will be just how fast does this trough end up progressing, which then leads to this trough behind it coming in, kicking this one out, and then maybe setting the stage for tomorrow, the following day's severe setup. I'm already calling it tomorrow when it's not even Thursday yet. So in turn, if we were to go ahead and move this forward a few hours, the trough does look like it starts to kind of unravel going forward. So by the time we get later into the day, it looks like that severe threat could wane just a little bit. The wind shear profile seems to peak more so in the early part of the day, which actually ends up being a good thing, because if this were to peak a little bit later in the day, this threat would almost certainly end up going all the way up to a slight risk or even higher. But even so, even as the upper level jet is starting to deteriorate, those winds in the mid levels are going to be accelerating a bit. So, if in case you missed it with yesterday's video, I mentioned that there's already a potential speed shear in play, and there is a slight change in directional shear. It's nothing that's incredible at these two levels, at least. But with that speed shear and a slight change in the lower levels, which we'll look at in just a second, it does yield me to think that there's going to be a little bit of spin in the atmosphere. So we do need to be watchful tornadoes. I'm actually considering my options, maybe going live, depending on the timing of this setup. I mean, obviously, I'm kind of out and about as of late. New Year's started, so holiday season for me is pretty much over. So what I'm trying to do from that point is really just kind of hammer down what we're going to do for tomorrow. I know we're going to make Friday happen, but tomorrow is kind of open-ended, I would say, at this point. And if we go further along, here is that setup for Friday while we're at it. This is us taking a look at the setup here. Of course, our trough's lagging back a good bit here. But this little zipper effect that we end up having here with this piece of energy that kind of flares up out of nowhere from the southeast of where the trough is. Now, I would say this is going to be where our new corridor of strong to severe thunderstorms would be expected. It's going to mainly be oriented over towards the delta. We mentioned that yesterday, but seeing this on the convective models gives me a little bit more confidence at this point. If we were to go ahead and move the map forward here and take a look at things from the mid-level jet, it also seems a bit more apparent there as well. The storms could fire a little bit later than I previously anticipated. I'm thinking that we could see initiation closer towards sunset than I thought that we were going to see yesterday. I do think that the potential is there for us still to get some earlier storms. But with this and the trough being a little bit further or lagging a little further back, I do think that we're going to end up seeing a messier storm mode because of this. One of the biggest inhibiting factors with the setup is the lift. Whenever you have a tighter gradient like what we have for, let's say, tomorrow's setup, we're going to go ahead and look at this. I would feel much better having a stronger lift source like this. It's not too dissimilar, but that low is a little bit better wound up. So as a result, you end up getting greater lift from this, and then in turn, you get more storm initiation earlier. But with this, the lifting is a little bit more subtle with this setup here that you're seeing off to the right. If we go back to the same time frame here, you can see the contour lines are just not quite as tightly wound together. And as a result, storms will probably still fire. I'm not doubting that at all. That's almost certain. I see the signal here still. We have good diffluence by the time we get later into the evening. But the corridor might be a little bit smaller for where severe weather ends up forming if we were to get it. Just like with any risk setup, we already know that there's no guarantee to, well, anything. But that's one thing that I've kind of noticed. Of course, like I've said before, this is only the NAM that I have available to me. So there could be some wrinkles in the forecast, of course. If it is, then I apologize. But if we fast forward or backtrack towards the Thursday setup, one thing that I've also made note of is low-level jet kind of ramps up and also kind of sets the stage for the Friday setup too. And this is what kind of piques my interest with tomorrow. If we're looking at low-level jet, we actually have quite an abundance of it, I would say. So any storms that would particularly form earlier, especially off to the western half of where that marginal risk currently is, I do think that we end up getting increased potential for maybe a spin up or two. By the time we get later into the evening, it could drop off a little bit. And then by the time we get into the following day, and we go ahead and fast forward a bit, low-level jet actually kind of drops off for a brief period before the storms really get going. And again, I think that's due in large part to the to the trough lagging back so far. By midday, we're still dealing with this trough all the way back towards the Texas Panhandle, just now starting to enter Oklahoma, really, at this point. And you can see it pretty clearly by the time we get into, I would say, noon Eastern time, 11 o'clock Central time. Storms could potentially fire as early as 2 or 3 o'clock, but could fire a little bit later. But either way, the trough never really catches up to this, and as a result, I think that this setup takes a little bit of a downtrend here in regards to tornado potential. I still think that there is something there to be had, but the timing's starting to not really match up in the same manner as what it did yesterday. And this is why we make these little update videos like we do whenever we're in severe season, because things can change so quickly. Now, one thing that this setup does have going for it, whether it's tomorrow or Friday's setup, is plenty of moisture available. And then there's a nice little gradient between the warm and cold temperatures here. So that adds additional lift. We also have additional moisture to work with, and that ultimately results in additional energy available. We were to go ahead and take a look at the cape available, though. In this case, not a whole lot to be had. If we were to go ahead and take a look at this area over towards eastern Oklahoma, however, notice the cape values aren't that impressive, but the wind profile is decent enough at the lower levels to where you can get a marginal tornado threat sounding like this. Now, I would be impressed by this, considering the fact that this is usually one of the more aggressive models, it doesn't really give me a lot to draw off of here for tomorrow's setup. We'll take a look at another sounding, and you'll kind of see a similar deal. You have a good wind profile once again. That's one thing that I will say with tomorrow's setup is that the wind profile looks pretty solid, but everything else, like the thermodynamic side of things, in regards to our lapse rates, we're kind of a little bit on the sloppier side, and mainly it's the lift that might be the biggest struggle a little further off towards the north. I do think that if we get some storms going, could get some tornado potential, and like I said, I can't rule out the potential of a slight risk being issued with this setup, but it's not anything that I can just hang my hat on just yet. If I were to go ahead and take a look at Friday's setup, though, we're going to go ahead and try to go past 48 hours here if we can. Notice moisture is still in place here, so it's going to kind of be a similar situation as to what we were talking about with the tomorrow's setup. Moisture's in place. Surface temperatures are pretty impressive here, but notice that gradient is gone. So that's going to be one struggle. We do have a chance of some showers that go through earlier in the day that could also limit activity. But my thinking is there could be a band of storms that leaves an outflow boundary and would allow new storms to fire off further to the south. And I think that would be where our tornado threat would be most prominent. So I would say somewhere closer towards the delta, maybe a little bit further off towards the east. I wouldn't be surprised to see that shift occur by the time we get into the outlook for Friday, heading into day 2 tomorrow, where we see a little bit of a highlighted tornado threat further off towards maybe western Mississippi possibly. So do need to be watchful of that. But as far as the thermos between today and tomorrow, it's kind of the same. At this juncture, I would say that the lifting mechanism is a little bit better for tomorrow's setup versus Friday. If that trough was a little bit closer, which we should be glad it's not, we will be dealing with much bigger problems here, believe you and me. So if we were to sneak into tomorrow's setup, one thing I will make note of here is with the increased surface temperature along with the dew points, we're going to have an increase in instability here. That's one thing that definitely has stood out to me from the first moment that I looked at this setup, is that we have cape values reaching towards 2,000. And again, this is over towards the delta. No real surprise to be seeing this here. And when I put it all together, even though the wind shear is kind of falling off at this point, we get better soundings and there is slightly more confidence towards a tornado threat, but One of the other things I've made note of is the thermodynamics, especially towards the lapse rate. They're not the most impressive. I was honestly seeing higher values with some of the other setups from Thursday versus Friday. So again, kind of all over the place in regards to what we could see with this setup. And again, this is only one model that I can look at. So like I said, this setup, these two setups, truthfully, both seem to have a lot of wrinkles in them, and there's a lot of X factors that's going to go into it. So lastly, let's go ahead and take a look at our simulated radar. Again, kind of like how I'm talking about Friday setup possibly being a little bit later in the day. I wouldn't be surprised to see storms fire earlier in the day with tomorrow's setup, and then we'll see things probably start to drop off once we get towards sunset and beyond for these regions here, especially towards the northern end of it. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few cold core storms occur here, a little bit further off towards the south where it's a bit warmer. I would expect maybe potential for a couple of storms here and there too. Coverage will not be extensive, I would say, at this point. I don't expect this to be a large scale outbreak either day, really, from any end of the spectrum. Let's hope that I'm not wrong on that, but yeah, it's always kind of touch and go, especially during this time of year. So, another thing I've noticed also is, again, I mentioned this before, it looks like we get a little band of showers and thunderstorms that kind of pop up early in the day on Friday, just before lunch. And this could take away some of that instability further off towards the north. Now, what ends up happening after that is, again, you start to see these cells begin to pop off a little bit further towards the south. I'm thinking this could be forming off of an outflow boundary, and this is where things start to really get interesting towards the delta region. So I think, like I said, I'm really thinking that we're going to see maybe a tornado threat that's highlighted more further off towards the south and east. But again, I want to see what the other models have to offer before really standing or doubling down on that at this juncture. So we'll move that forward on Friday afternoon. And the threat does linger a little bit past sunset. And then after that point, we start to get this to clear out. And then I wouldn't expect a lingering threat for Saturday at this current point in time. That could change. We may see a marginal risk, but I don't expect any sort of uptrend in severe weather potential beyond that point. So with all of that in mind, that's all we got for this video. I tried to keep this one as short as I could, but when it gets to severe weather, I always get a little bit more giddy because I like talking about this stuff. But that being said, you all take care, and we'll figure out what happens with tomorrow. Till then, everyone have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you next time.